to say thank you to my sponsors. Let's see. I've got a list of sponsors here that this could not be possible without them.
Okay, wait to hear this.
Well, Robbie's on Main Street, Group 3 Realty, Willie's Fish Lake, the Pine Ridge Inn, Sky City of Mount Airy, Dickens Brand Cider, let's see, Hodges Transmission Shop, the Commissioner's Reserve Corn Liquor, the Red Hill Creek Board of Education, the North Carolina Education Lottery Mega Millions and Powerball. I would like to thank...
Hey, you know what?
Yes?
That actually is your sponsor because you're a teacher, right?
Yes. Well, yes, kind of. And the taxpayers. The taxpayers and the North Carolina Lottery.
Isn't that strange that that is how they supposedly pay for our schools?
Yeah.
Ever thought about that?
I contribute to it regularly.
Oh, Eric, I don't believe you.
The Flat Rock Post Office, the AA Center of Toast, the North Shore High School Ballroom Dancing Club, the Westfield Volunteer Fire Department, let's see, the ED Support Group of Surrey, and the White Sulphur Springs Hotel.
Well, those are some great sponsors you have there.
They are, and like I said, honestly, without my mom and my sponsors, I wouldn't be here today.
Well, you know what? You and I are almost related because yesterday, my mom's cat bit your mom. Did you know this?
Ooh.
This is not a joke. This is actually...
Did the cat die? I would assume the cat passed away probably from poison.
No, the cat is having to be quarantined now.
Oh.
This is not a joke. I told you I was going to shock you, and you're thinking you're making this up. I'm not making this. I'm not making this up because I don't really know exactly how it happened. But yes, yesterday we're kind of related now.
We are, and we're all related to the Goldens.
That's right.
That's right. Ground Peak.
That's right. That's right.
But I hope the cat's okay. I hope the cat makes it. My mom can fend for herself.
I hope your mom makes it.
Right.
So is she listening in?
I don't know. I didn't tell her to listen in.
Well, play us another good tune on your banjo, and then after this, why don't we talk about your banjo? Because it was made. That's a handmade instrument.
Yeah, it's
right?
from Orwell, New York, and we'll talk about it if you want to.
Sure.
Let's do a little John Henry.
All right.
Said, hand me the days of me, hand me the days of me. Down here in heaven in the mountain, till his hands were caught on fire. First one I ever heard that boy say, give me a drink of water for a dime, give me a drink of water for a dime. Tennessee man, before I let that steamroller get me down, I die with a hammer in my hand, die with a hammer in my hand. Well, John Henry climbed up on that mountain and looked off the other side. That man was so tall, and John Henry was so slow. He laid down that hammer and he cried, cried, cried. Laid down that hammer and he cried. She drives still like a man. While she drives still like a man. Well, they brought him off of the mountain and they buried him in the sand. he said, young lies are still drowning man. Young lies are still drowning man.
You know what? That made me think of this, and I hope that nobody I hope no one is offended by this, but I want to tell you about that song that has been recorded by so many people, and is actually a folk legend about a black man, and he is said to have worked as a steel driving man, hammering a steel drill into rock to make holes for explosives to blast the rock in constructing a railroad tunnel. And of course it's told in many, many songs, and also there is a statue of John Henry in Summers County, West Virginia. Have you seen it? It's really neat. According to legend, John Henry, as a steel driver, was measured in a race against a steam-powered rock drilling machine.
And won.
So that's kind of neat, and we're still singing it. That's the beauty of music to me. So that's really neat, and it's also various locations, including the Big Bend Tunnel in West Virginia, the Lewis Tunnel in Virginia, and the Coosa Mountain Tunnel in Alabama have been suggested as the site of the actual contest that took place.
Yeah, supposedly it's a true story.
That's really neat. I just think that's neat to tell about that stuff. So go ahead and give us another song, and then we'll take a real quick break.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about a not-so-liked fella now. John Henry was well admired by everybody. Old Joe Clark was not.
No.
Nobody liked Joe Clark.
He stuck his face in the butter.
Yes, he did. He treated people poorly. We'll hear a little bit about it. Let's see. Killed old Joe Stone dead. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I say. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, goodbye, Birdie Brown. Her hair was like coffee pot, her nose like a spout, her mouth like an old fireplace with ashes on raked out. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I say. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, goodbye, Birdie Brown. Today. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I say. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, goodbye, Birdie Brown. I don't go to old Joe Clark to tell the reason why. Can't get through his garden spot for tearing down his rye. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I say. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, I'm on the way to stay. He slept on a feathered bed, and he put me in the floor. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I say. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, I'm on the way to stay. I went up to old Joe Clark's, didn't mean no harm. He put out a 44, and he shot me in the leg. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I say. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, I'm on the way to stay. Fare thee well, I say. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, goodbye, Birdie Brown.
All right, great music, old-time music from our friend Eric Jessup. And we're going to take a real quick break and hear from our sponsor of this portion of today's program, Price Power Equipment in Elkin, North Carolina. And we'll be back with more music coming up right after this.
Count on Toro season after season for the Toro Time Cutter zero-turn mower from Price Power Equipment. From a flat lawn to rolling hills, a small yard to the back 40, Toro offers a wide range of mowers to suit virtually any need. Learn how Toro lives up to its reputation for heavy-duty construction, professional quality of cut, and award-winning innovation. Head on into Price Power Equipment, 2116 North Ridge Street in Elkin today. Call 336-835-1600. Online at pricepowerequipment.com.
Again, we'll be checking that volcano.
I'm serious.
there is that winter storm in the morning in effect for tonight into
Mama thought you were
tomorrow.
supposed to give him a rabies shot.
Now we take you back to the Earl Theater.
So
More music
it's
today.
been like 3
Here
years.
you go,
I said,
round
I'm
the
sure it
shade.
doesn't have rabies, but. Sorry about that. We're still talking about the cat. And we may have to write an old time song about this. Your mom may not think it's funny. Okay. You know what, Eric? When you first talked to me last year about you were learning the banjo, and not learning the banjo, but you've been playing the banjo for a while, and you like to go to fiddlers conventions, which we can't have any right now, but eventually, someday, we will hopefully get to have one again.
I hope so, because that's where all us mediocre musicians go to perform.
Or the merry-go-round. No, I'm just
Yes,
joking.
absolutely.
No, I'm just picking.
Y'all must be hard up for talent right now.
No, and don't say that. That's not the case. I think it's exciting that someone is doing a solo act. And so when you first brought this to me and said, hey, I want to try my act out, and you know what I immediately thought of was Uncle Dave Macon.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. The Dixie Dewdrop.
The Dixie Dewdrop, who, if I'm not mistaken, now Ken, I've been trying to verify this, but if I'm not mistaken, my grandpa grew up right down here off of South Main Street, on Corner Street, and he came to see Uncle Dave Macon, either here or across the street.
Wow.
And I think it costs 5 cents to get in. I would still like to verify that some way. I know some way, if I had another lifetime to live over, I could look through the Mountaineer News and probably find out where that he had actually performed here. But that's kind of neat to think about the fact that that may have happened either here or at the Grand Theater across the street.
In the 40s or 50s probably.
Yep. Yes.
Or
No,
30s.
30s. 30s, because he
Yeah.
was a young man when that happened. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk the whole time, but just in between. So what you got picked out for us next?
Well, I got to tell you about my neighbor.
Okay.
After this song,
Okay.
my neighbor has these show rabbits, and I got home the other day and my dog had one of them in his mouth.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's bad. But let me do a little Joe Clark.
Okay, all right.
Not Joe Clark, Dan Tucker for me.
All right. Hey, that's Uncle Dave Macon song.
It is.
It is. So maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Well, old Dan Tucker was a mighty man, washed his face in frying pan, combed his hair with a wagon wheel, died with a toothache in his head. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you's too late to get your supper. Well, old Dan Tucker came into town, riding a goat and leading a hound, hound yelled out and the goat jumped. Old Dan Tucker straddled a stump, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you's too late to get your supper. Well, old Dan Tucker, he came to town, swinging the girls round and round, first to the right and then to the left, then with the girl that he loved best. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you's too late to get your supper. Well, old Dan Tucker, he took a chunk, flew in the fire and picked up stuff, red hot coals from the hill of his shoe. Don't you know how the ashes flew? Get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you's too late to get your supper. I got to tell you about my neighbor. She's got these show rabbits, great big old expensive. I mean, they're thousands of dollars, these rabbits. And so I got home the other day and my old Walker Hound Belle, she had one of those rabbits in her mouth. I recognized it immediately when I got home. I said, oh, that's one of Melissa's show rabbits. I don't have thousands of dollars to pay Melissa for one of them rabbits. So like any good neighbor would do, I looked around there and saw she wasn't at home, so I took the rabbit out of the dog's mouth, took it to her backyard, and threw it back in its cage. I mean, I wanted to be a good neighbor. I wasn't gonna.
You wanted her to at least know that something had happened to the rabbit.
I wanted her to know the rabbit had died. But I didn't have the money to pay for it. So I'm sitting in the back of the house, brewing some coffee and watching my stories. Days of Our Lives was on. That's an old story, one of my favorites. And I hear this awful squalling in the yard. And I immediately knew it was Melissa's voice. She was hollering. Well, of course, I thought I knew what was going on. So I walked around to the backyard. She was back there. Oh, Lord. I said, Like any good neighbor, I checked on her. I said, Melissa, what's wrong? She said, oh, Lord. I said, what is the matter? She said, oh, this rabbit died 3 days ago, and I buried it, and now it's back in its cage. But now, she's a good neighbor. I'm going to tell you what, she's good as gold. Let's see, what else do we have here? We do a little Cripple Creek.
All right.
That's one of my old-time favorites. They play this at the Fiddlers Convention a lot. But by the way, I came in, not this year at Galax because I didn't have it, but year before last, I came in tied for 11th place at Galax.
Wow.
Well, they only placed the top 10, and then the other 95 or 100 are all tied for 11th. Everybody's the same. Everybody's pretty much the same place after that. But I was tied for 11th at Galax. Creek, going and run, going up Creek, have a little fun, going up Creek, going and we're going up Creek, by me girl. Hi girl, and she love me, she as sweet as she can be. Hi girl, eyes of blue legs, my gun, she's straight and true, going up Creek, going and run, going up Creek, have a little fun, going up Creek, going and we're going up Creek, by me girl. Before I sleep, roll my britches to my knees, way up Creek when I please. Going up Creek, going and run, going up Creek, have some fun. Going up Creek, going and we're going up Creek, find me girl. Well, I went up to the Cripple Creek, see if them girls had to eat. I run feel against that wall, old cold liquor was costing over. Going up Creek, going and run, going up Creek, have no fun. Going up Creek, going and we're going up Creek, find me girl. To my knees, way up Creek when I play. Going up Creek, going and run, going up Creek, have a little fun. Going up Creek, going and we're going up Creek, find me girl. That's the hardest thing.
Well, I have to add this, and this is not something that I hadn't read before. I actually told folks about this on the radio station not too many months ago about Uncle Dave Macon, because it's very interesting, and we're talking about somebody who was born in the 1800s, born in 1870 to be exact, in Smart Station, Tennessee.
Died what, 1950?
Correct. He died in 1952 at the age of 81. But this is what is so amazing about his life. Okay, so he was born the son of a Confederate captain, and in 1884 his family moved to Nashville. We're talking about 1884. Uncle Dave Macon, at 13 years of age, moved to Nashville for his family to run the old Broadway Hotel. I'm getting chills, just so you know, because I'm crazy, I guess. Are you the same kind of crazy as me?
Yes.
You might be. Okay.
And Uncle Dave Macon didn't turn professional until he was 50 years old.
Exactly. And so a lot of vaudeville acts came through the old Broadway Hotel, and he got really interested in vaudeville. So now, look, this leads me to this. I wondered if anybody had ever thought about this. Okay, so now I'm reading from this wonderful book that I'll tell you a little bit more about. But Uncle Dave Macon was the first star of the Grand Ole Opry, where on Saturday nights he would flog the living daylights out of the banjo while he hooted and hollered and stamped his feet. But listen to this. This is what is so funny. His first Opry performance was in December of 1925, and he single-handedly kept the 5-string banjo alive because at that time, people were only playing 4-string banjos.
Jazz hands.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it wasn't until Earl Scruggs joined Bill Monroe's Bluegrass Boys on the Opry late in 1945 that the banjo had a new champion. Because for all that time, 20 years, he was considered to be the best banjo that there was, Uncle Dave Macon.
Yep.
That is so amazing. So anyways, I hope folks think about that. 1870. We're still doing it today.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
we're trying.
we're trying to.
We're keeping it going anyway.
We're keeping it going. Do us another song before we take a break for the weather forecast.
One of my favorite gospel songs, Hank Williams and Mr. Rose wrote "I Saw the Light." So I'll try that one for us. I wonder to endless life here is sin. I would not let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Well, I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Well, just like a blind man wandered alone, worries and fears I claim for my own. Then like a blind man, God gave back his sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Well, I saw that light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I was a fool to wander and stray, straight as a gate and narrow the way. Now I have traded wrong for the right. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Well, I saw that light, I saw that light. No more darkness, no more light. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
We got a couple minutes before we do need to send things back to the station. Why don't you tell us about how you decided to start playing the banjo?
Being a friend of mine, Adam Brashears, used to play a lot of music and still do some when we have time. He's a wrestling coach over in Elkin and teaches at Elkin Midland High. And I would play guitar and he would play banjo, and I was just fascinated. He would roll the banjo, but he also played clawhammer. And so old time, he plays a lot of double C. I play more in an open tune, but it's still the clawhammer style. And I was just fascinated at how he was able to get that sound out of that banjo using the thumb and one finger, And so I asked him to show me a few things one day while we were playing, and he did. And I just kind of decided I really liked it. So it's just a lot of fun, and it's a bright, happy sound.
That's exactly right. I think the same way about old time music. I really being here in the Old Time Music Heritage Hall, which is where we do this show every week. I see the folks on the wall here. Of course, Fred Cockrum and Tommy Gerald both played the banjo very, very well. Known both equally for their fiddle and for their banjo.
World renowned. I mean, they're known throughout the world.
And their instruments actually in the Smithsonian Institution. Yep. So the time is 1 minute away from the bottom of the hour, so we'll send things back to you, Bob King, and we will be back with our special guest. I started to call you Adam Brashears. Isn't that crazy? Because we were talking about Adam.
That would be a complete, total insult to me.
We know he is listening, so we better not say anything too crazy. We'll be back with our special guest, Eric Jessup, for part 1 of today's Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round, right after this.
And again, winter storm warning in effect for later tonight, early tomorrow morning, through parts of tomorrow, and even a holdover through Sunday evening and maybe parts of Monday also. Increasing clouds today, a high only around 41. Tonight, rain and snow.
Whenever I say that, I
in the early hours, very early hours of tomorrow. Snow between 4 and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And then possibly mixing with freezing rain after 5 a.m. And snow could be heavy at times, low around 29. And again, that carries over into Sunday, snow and sleet for 10 a.m. and possibly some freezing rain till about noon. And rain rain in the
spend so much
afternoon.
more money on advertising the water.
Accumulation total 1 to 3 inches of snow and sleet, maybe a little bit more now. High only near 35 degrees tomorrow also after that morning low of 29. And Sunday night, chances
I
of
never thought
rain
about it like that.
in the early hours of
Oh, I
Sunday,
loved it
then
then. I wish I could
chance
see.
of rain and sleet mixed in the early hours
When I start
of
thinking
Monday.
about the old Broadway.
Early hours of Sunday night, actually, and
People
then
coming through
early
with
hours of
Dogville,
Monday,
I just-
chance
my
of a
mind
mixture
is-
again, overnight low 31, so again, a bit of a slippery time on Monday early on
My
too.
grandpa told that over and
But
over.
eventually, things breaking up a little bit. A high of 43 on Monday, cloudy skies. We get back to sunshine on Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures in the mid-40s. But again, that winter storm warning in
And it
effect,
never had, it was not a siren.
and all kinds of advisories out.
So they had a warning over
through
there, so
parts
it's
of
probably more likely that they
tomorrow
had
and
it over there,
forecast.
but
35 degrees is our current temperature. And right now we take you back to the Euro Theater, music from today's merry-go-round. Once again, here's Jenny.
thank you so much, Bob King, and I appreciate you this morning. Hope you're doing good. We're having a great time on the Saturday morning merry-go-round. We do this each and every week, and I do want you to stay tuned because at 12 o'clock we'll have an updated look at the news and weather, and then we'll have another hour and a half of music from our special guests, Just a Little Grace. They do amazing gospel music, and it's going to be a great show. Speaking of great shows, back to you, Eric.
Well, I got to tell you about I told you a little bit about my neighbor a while ago. Last Wednesday night, I was sitting in my chair in the back of the house, enjoying, I make sure, and what was it called, DVR or D something, where you save shows.
Oh, yeah, recorded.
Yeah, recorded, and I was watching Days of Our Lives because that's my favorite. And when I'm working, I don't, but Dr. Draper Moray is my favorite on that show. Anyway, I was sitting in the back of the house Wednesday evening, and I heard that familiar voice. I knew it was Melissa again. I heard her voice out in the front yard. Sounded like somebody dying out there. So I walked out the door, and there was her husband, Ken. Had her lifted up in the air, picked her up, just over his head.
Like they do in ice skating?
Yeah, I mean, had her up there, and she was hollering, screaming. I walked down, and I said, Ken, what in the world are you doing? He said, looked at me just serious. He said, well, I went to church tonight, Wednesday night service, and right before he left, he said, my preacher told me, he said, go home and lift your troubles up to the Lord. And he said, that's what I'm doing. I thought, oh, Lord. Oh, well, anyway, let's play another song here. Let's see. One of my old favorites, it was the Carter Family did The Circle Being Broken, I think. And I was standing by my window on a cold and cloudy day when I seen that hearse come rolling, oh, to carry my mother away. Well, the circle being broken, by and by, Lord, by and by, days are better on the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I said too late, Undertaker, Undertaker, please drive slow. For the body, you is a holly, Lord, I hate to see her go. Well, I followed close behind him, trying to hold up and be brave, but I could not hide my sorrow when they laid her in that grave. Well, that circle being ruined, my and my, oh, my and my, raise a bed all the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I went back home home was lonesome. I wish my mother, she was gone. All my brothers and sisters crying, oh, a home so sad and alone, where we sing them old songs of childhood, hymns of faith that made us strong. The ones that mother maybe taught us, and the angels sing along. Well, that circle been rolling by and by and by. It's better I'm waiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, that circle been rolling by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better on the way in the sky, Lord, in the sky. All right, what do you want now?
Well,
Another song?
I think we definitely need to play another song, but you know, when you were singing just then and we were talking about Uncle Dave Macon kind of not starting to do music or having an entertainment career till he was an adult, share with the folks a little bit more about the fact that you're a school teacher.
I am just a humble school teacher.
And you also coach wrestling, right?
I do, and soccer. Girls and boys soccer and wrestling at North Surrey. And by the way, the North Surrey High School Ballroom Dancing Club is one of my sponsors. So just thought I'd throw that out there. We're very sophisticated up there at North Surrey, and we drive our tractors to school sometimes, but we also have ballroom dancing.
But you went to Mount Airy.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I've seen both sides, and you know, I enjoyed my time at Mount Airy High School, and I have enjoyed working at North Surrey High School. So, yeah, I can only talk good about both.
Okay. It's a little bit like the blue and the gray, though. I mean, you're kind of, when people talk about it, you're either Mount Airy or you're North Surrey, and that's all there is to it. You can only root for one.
I've seen both sides, and they're both good places. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. I mean, it's the same town, pretty much, same county, so a lot of the same type of kids.
Do you see many people at your school taking up or interested in bluegrass and old-time music?
There's some students that are into playing music.
Seems to me like maybe what you need to do with your business education class is you need to start an old-time music club.
I may do that. You're just trying to get people to buy instruments from old Meal.
No, not exactly.
I see what you're doing here.
Not exactly. Go ahead and give us another song, Eric.
Okay. Let's see. This is an old song from the Andy Griffith show that was on there. Dooley, he made liquor, had a 40-gallon still. I'm going to try to do it best I can. Well, Dooley was an old man, lived down by the mill. Dooley had 2 daughters and a 40-gallon still. One girl washed a boiler, the other washed a spat. Wife kept in bottles and old Dooley fished to the mat. Dooley stepped up a holler, Dooley trying to make a holler, Dooley, yeah, Miss Swan, I'll pay you back someday. Revenuers came to get him, slipping through them woods. Dooley stayed behind him and he didn't lose his goods. Now Dooley was a trader, in the town he come. Sugar by the barrel and molasses by the ton. Dooley's living a holler, Dooley, trying to make a dollar, Dooley. Give me a swan, I'll pay you back someday. Oh, I remember very well the day old Dooley died. The women were not sorry and the men stood round and cried. Now Dooley's on the mountain, he's about alone, with a jug right beside him and a barrel full of stone. Dooley's living a holler, Dooley, trying to make a dollar, Dooley, yeah, that's what I'll pay back someday. Trying to make a dollar, Dooley, yeah, that's what I pay you back someday. That's a mouthful.
You would be surprised the requests that we get for the Dillards.
Yeah, oh, they were a really good band. The Briscoe Darling, was it Uncle Jesse?
Jed, no. I can't remember.
I think he was Uncle Jesse.
On the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, for sure.
He was kind of the actor, but the rest of the band, the Darlings, was the Dillards, and they were really good.
And I think that Doug Dillard, of course, he is, Ronnie still performs some.
Yes.
Rodney, sorry. But Doug had such an impact on music and actually played with the Byrds, and he went all over. And I remember the last time he came to Mayberry Days, and he died not long after that. And of course, he was very elderly, but he really had a great career. And it's special to Mount Airy, of course, because of their participation in the program, the Andy Griffith Show, which I love, by the way. My kids love it.
They were on a lot of episodes.
They were great. Some of the looks they gave, that's what I liked. The looks, and it was just so funny because they rarely ever talked. But go ahead and play one more song, and then we'll take a real quick break.
Well, I got to tell you, though.
Okay. Or whatever you want to do. This is your program.
Well, I've got to tell you a quick story. I was up at my granny's the other day, and she's 106, 107 years old. And I walked in the house, and there was this beautiful smell. It smelled so good in there. I mean, you could. She had something cooking in the wood stove, and I said, "Granny, what are you cooking?" She said, "That's Himalayan possum." And I said, "Himalayan possum? What in the heck is Himalayan possum?" She said, "Well, you know, regular possum. You know, you catch it, put it in a dog lock, fatten it up, feed it for 2 or 3 weeks, and you kill it and eat it." She said, "Listen here, I just found Himalayan in the road." And it tasted the same as the one she put in the dog log. It was the same old. Let's see, what we got here? Next, I'll Fly Away. You want to do that one, or we got time?
No, we got time.
All right. Celestial shore, high, fly away, well, high, fly away, oh glory, high, fly away. When I die, hallelujah, my, fly away. From these prison walls I'll fly away, well, high, fly away, oh glory, high, fly away. When I die, hallelujah, my, high, fly away.
Back to Bob King, and then we'll come back with the conclusion of this first hour of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. We got to come up with you an old-timey name, Eric. Maybe we can do that while we take a break. What do you think? All right, we'll be back right after this.
Although every year thousands of children run away from home, there are things parents can do to keep their children from becoming runaways.
You got to be something, Eric.
child talks to you, don't just pretend to listen. Kids know the difference. Try to sympathize with any difficulties your children are going through. Remember when you were that age, encourage people and talk about feelings. Don't lecture. Try to praise rather than criticize. If your child does run away, get help for yourself. For more tips, call 1-800-RUN-AWAY or visit 1-800-RUN-AWAY.
Eric Jessup.
Once again, at the top of the hour, update that forecast for storm warning in effect with listing areas early tomorrow morning.
Jumping there.
Some
I can't jump very high.
there.
I'm not much of a jumper.
News with Kelly and Snow Dates also a couple of
Yeah.
stores as well. Now more music from the merry-go-round. Once again, here's Jenny.
Thank you so much, Bob. And we were talking about before we went to that break that we need to find Eric an old-timey name, and we've come up with one, but I've already forgot it.
Pappy O. Jessup.
Pappy O.
Yeah, I've always
Jessup.
pictured myself Irish.
Well, you are Irish, right?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
The Paynes, you came down from the Paynes and the Goldens because we're related way back yonder, not just through the cat bite incident,
Yeah.
but
I hope the cat lives after bite my mom. That's all I'm saying. Because everything else has bit my mom and died. So, pure poison. Poison.
Well, Pappy O. Jessup,
Hey, have you been to that new, my wife took me the other day, there's a new flea market in that old Kmart building.
a flea market.
Yeah.
Are you-
It's called the Hobby something. And I went in there and it looked like a flea market to me. I don't know, my wife took me.
Hobby Lobby?
I don't know, it's Hobby something. Anyway, I went in there and it smelled like poopery, what's it called, poopery? Topery? And,
Potpourri.
yeah, that. And,
They do have one called the other name,
but
but it's used for
there's
different.
junk everywhere in there. But I'm glad they came to town because they are providing good paying jobs
That's exactly
to our
right.
local economy. So I'm glad they're here, but I'll probably go back to that flea market. But a lot of people like that stuff. It's crafts.
Crafts.
I don't do much crafts.
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm not very crafty.
I think you're pretty crafty.
I don't know. By the way, I'm glad it's the weekend. Whoever invented the 5-day work week and the 2-day weekend, they didn't work. Because if they had worked for a living, we would have had a 2-day work week and a 5-day weekend.
I heard they do that in France.
But I better,
Really, I made that up. I
I
don't.
better start learning some Spanish then, because I'm gonna move there, or whatever they speak. I don't know what they speak in foreign countries. I'm gonna do a little Mountain Dew for us.
Oh, that's a good one.
I gotta dedicate this one to Billy Ray Goes Jr. He's because he's a great chicken stew maker. Way down the road from me lays a big hollow tree where you lay down $1 or two. I go round that bend and come back again. There's a jug full of good old Mountain Dew. Well, he called it that old Mountain Dew, and he made refuse it every few. I shut up my mouth, he fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew. He sawed off and short, he measures about 4'2". But thinks he's a giant when you give him a pound of that good old Mountain Dew. Well, my old Aunt June bought brand new perfume, it had such a sweet smelling hue. But to her surprise, she hadn't analyzed it was nothing but good old Mountain Dew. Well, they called it that old Mountain Dew, and they made refuse it every few. I shut up my mug and fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew. Well, my brother Bill got a still on the hill where he runs off a gallon or two. Rolling buzzards in the sky, gets so drunk and can't fly from smelling that good old Mountain Dew. Well, my preacher rode by with his head high, stood high, says, "Wife had been down with the flu," and he thought that I ought just to sail in the port of that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that old Mountain Dew, and if they refuse it every few, I shut up my mug and fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew. I shut up my mug and fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew.
You know what? When we were doing that song, I was thinking about the fact that they're using some kinds of alcohol for hand sanitizer.
Yeah, it was in short supply.
It was in short supply, and so maybe that ought to tell us something, that people probably should not partake of that.
My grandpa told me one time, he said, there will come a time where you got a lot of money in your pocket but can't buy nothing. And during COVID, when I couldn't get toilet paper, I realized he was right.
Well, that you know, it's not a joking matter. I mean, it is serious, but that you're exactly right.
It came just in nick time. They got a little supply in at Food Line, and I was down to like Dollar General receipts and Burger King napkins and yeah, I was in short supply of socks, and I was getting ready to go buy some corn just to use the cobs, like the old outhouse days.
Well, speaking of outhouses, did you know when you were doing that song, I was thinking about, you are descendant of Clay Golden, right? Clay or Cosby? Clay, right?
Claude.
Clay. Okay, yeah. Clay, okay. Anyways, my great uncle, all these people are passed away, so we're okay to tell this stuff now. But Clay and Cosby they made liquor.
I don't know anybody that does that.
Well, this was 100 years ago, so it's okay to talk about it now. Okay. And one of them would be afraid at the still place in the day, and the other one was afraid at night. I can hear my uncle telling this story.
I've heard that story before, too.
I'm telling you, he did. This is so funny that someone on YouTube did suggest the name Papio Jessup. Isn't that something?
Really?
Yes. So we know we got to stick with it now, Papio Jessup.
We have to.
We have to. But anyways, yeah, what you were talking about, things have really, they're coming to pass. It seems like it. Yeah, people have money and can't get what they need. So, but we got some great music on the airwaves of WPAQ. We probably got time for 2 more. We have about 6 minutes, so I'll just turn things back over to you, Papio Jessup.
I can stretch one song out for 15 minutes, or I can play about 11 in 15 minutes. I mean, it's old time music, so it don't matter. Hello there, stranger, how do you do? There's something I'd like to say to you. You look surprised, you'll recognize I'm protected, but I have surmised you're in a place I long to be. Your smiling faces say to me, you're from my homeland, my sunny homeland. Tell me, can it be? Are you from Dixie? I said from Dixie, where the fields of cotton beckon to me. I'm glad to see you. Tell me, how be you and the friends I'm longing for? Are you from Alabama, Tennessee, or Carolina? Anywhere below that Mason-Dixon line. Are you from Dixie? I say from Dixie. Well, I'm from Dixie too. Gotta take a breath now. It was back in old 89. I went up of that Mason-Dixon line, and gee, I'm yearning, long to return to the friends I left behind. My home is way down in Alabama, on a plantation down near Birmingham. But one thing's for certain, I'll surely flirt with those southbound trains. Are you from Dixie? I said from Dixie, where the fields of cotton beckon with me. I'm glad to see you. Tell me, how be you and the friends I'm longing for? You from Alabama, Tennessee, or Carolina? Anywhere below the Mason-Dixon line. I said from Dixie. I said from Dixie. Well, I'm from Dixie too. I I said from Dixie, I said from Dixie. Well, if you look kind of making to me, I'm glad to see you. Tell me how are you, and the friends I'm on you. You're from Alabama, Tennessee, or Carolina, anywhere below that Dixon line. I said from Dixie, well, I said from Dixie. Well, I'm from Dixie too. That's a mouthful. Thank you.
Happy O. Jessup. That'll be all over North Surrey by about 10 o'clock Monday morning, won't it?
I hope not.
Well, it may. We're going to do our part, but no, I'm just joking. We've probably got time for one more, about 3 minutes or so. It's been a pleasure, and I think on your debut gig, which this is kind of your debut gig, is Happy O. Jessup, right, Eric?
Yes, a little bit, yes.
So I think you've done a great job. Very entertaining. Thank you so much.
Thank God. It's been an honor to be here. Let's do an old song, Rolling My Sweet Baby's Arms.
That's good.
My wife Jessie's at home. She didn't come out to support me today. She said she had some beans to string and some shoes to relace and some corn to shuck. And she was really busy and couldn't come see me play. So, Rolling My Sweet Baby's Arms, that's for her. I ain't gonna work on that railroad. No, I ain't gonna work on the farm. Gonna lay around the shack till the mail train come back. Rolling my sweet baby's arms. Oh, rolling my sweet baby's arms. Rolling my sweet baby's arms. Oh, I'm gonna lay around the shack till the mail train come back. Rolling my sweet baby's arms. Where were you last Friday? When I were laying in that jail, you was walking the streets with another man. Wouldn't even come to fold my bed. Oh, rolling my sweet baby's arm. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. I'm gonna lay around this shed till the mail train come back. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. Well, your mama, she never did like me. She ran me away from your door. If I had to do my life over again, I'd never go back there anymore. Oh, rolling my sweet baby's arm. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. I wanna lay around that shed till the mail train come back. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. Well, rolling my sweet baby's arm. Rolling my sweet baby's arm. Oh, I wanna lay around this shed till the mail train come back. Rolling my sweet baby's arm.
All right, Happy O. Jessup.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure and a great show today. Everybody stay where you're at. Don't change that radio dial.
Well, I gotta thank my sponsors.
Okay, please do that.
I'd like to thank my sponsors. Without my mother and my sponsors, this show could not be possible. I've got Robbie's, Army Surplus on Main Street, Group 3 Realty, Willie's Fish Lake, the Pine Ridge Inn, Sky City of Mount Airy, Dickens Brand Cider, Hodges Transmission Shop, the Commissioner's Reserve Corn Liquor, Red Hill Creek Board of Education, the North Carolina Education Mega Millions and Powerball, the Wards Gap Laundry and Tobacco, the Flat Rock Post Office, the AA of Toast, North Surrey High School Ballroom Dancing Club, Westfield Volunteer Fire Department, the ED Support Group of Surrey, and the White Sulphur Springs Hotel, and Cialis. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here, and it is 12 o'clock.
It is 12 o'clock.
I will pick my paycheck up
All right.
at the front from Ken.
Yeah.
And
let me know how that goes.
Okay.
Stay tuned, everyone. We got part 2 of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. You keep everybody straight at North Surrey, you hear?
Yeah, I can't do nothing about that. I've had fun, enjoyed it. A touch of grace.
Just a little grace is
Just
coming
a little
up
grace.
right after the 12 o'clock
Y'all better
news.
stay around here then, because I'm sure they are awesome.
They are great. They are great. We'll be back with part 2 of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. You're listening to the voice of the Blue Ridge, AM 740 and FM 106.7 WPAQ.
And we'll take you back to the theater after
did I make it harder or easier?
There's some sports.
I was trying to.
Well, I don't think great dynamics going on.
We really are not related, except for by the cat fight.
I now have a little.
I have to tell you a story. I just knew, I said, oh my gosh, I can't wait to open up the store.
A missing
Well, we're related
15-year-old
because
boy
now
has been found in Carroll County.
just glad
He was last seen around 5 p.m. yesterday on Sunrise Drive. 15-year-old Hunter Reed James Phelps has been found wearing a cross necklace, blue jeans, tan military boots, camouflage hoodie, and a coat. Virginia Tech is reminding students that they must continue to follow public health guidelines. These comes after about 35 people were disciplined for large gatherings last weekend. School leaders say they want to remind students of the importance of limiting groups to no more than 10, wearing masks, and staying physically distanced. All students disciplined last weekend were required
Help me figure out how I can help y'all.
Well, you got to, we're gonna do that, except for.
Martinsville police
Stacy, what time did I tell her to say I love you?
I'll take it. Hey, I need to see you to the light bulb. I got it. I got the plan. Good luck, y'all. Nice to see y'all.
Thank you so much. We'll do it again.
Oh, you do. Yes, sir.
Reckless handling of a firearm and discharging
No, this one is here to use.
Bye, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
the night of January 15th to a report of shots fired in the intersection of First Street and G Street.
Yeah, y'all have a good one.
Found a home in the 400 block.
Thanks, I'll have a good one. Yeah, thanks, it's fun.
All right, cousin. See ya.
See you. Have a good one.
Johnny's my
All right, Ken, what's
cousin.
paycheck?
All right, see ya.
All right, man.
I'll
see you later.
403 5330 or Crime Stoppers at 276-632-7463. North Carolina reports the highest number of workplace deaths in a decade. 91 workers died on the job in 2020, marking the highest number of work-related deaths.
Thank you for bringing that out to our attention.
Yesterday. In a year troubled by the COVID-19 pandemic, the department said there were 26 COVID-19 related deaths.
I happened to tune in that day and it was like they never ended. They never ended.
In the report, the Department of Labor took that not everyone had the ability
I got tickled.
with higher probability of exposure to COVID-19, most notably in areas including healthcare facilities such as hospitals, medical doctor offices, nursing homes, and long-term care facilities. The Department of Labor noted that the most common work-related death in 2020 for the Tar Heel State were results of struck-by incidents. Construction workers suffered the most number of losses.
I've done my share of that.
5 more than in 2019. The construction industry was followed by the services industry with 22 work-related deaths, an increase of 15 in the previous year.
I'm just
The
trying to
third
get my.
highest number of work-related deaths came from the manufacturing industry with 15 deaths, 7 more than in 2019.
I will.
On the bright side, the Department of Labor reported that
I'm gonna beat you to death with my guitar next. What I'm gonna do if I don't move.
without work-related fatalities. Well, this area, the Triad, northern foothills, North Carolina, Virginia, and the mountains, bracing for a possible winter storm.
Hey, I said, look down
Will
there.
impact the region
I do quality work.
tonight through tomorrow night.
Huh? Did you do that quality
Snow
work too?
to sleet to freezing rain and possibly back to snow or rain throughout the event.
Ken, we're liable to blow you out when we start.
Travel difficult
That'll be fine.
and dangerous. Heavy mixed precipitation is possible. Winter storm warning, actually a watch, remains in effect from Saturday evening through Sunday evening. Total snow accumulations, and this will vary,
of 1 to 6 inches, and ice accumulation
Okay,
up
that's
to
great.
1/10 of an inch will be possible. Again, this is portions of central, south central, southwest, and west central Virginia, north central and northwest North Carolina, and southeast West Virginia. From Saturday evening through Sunday evening, travel again could be very difficult. Please stay tuned to WPAQ.
Yeah, I got my special water, extra water.
A man is dead after a shooting in Mount Airy yesterday. Surrey County deputies responded to a shooting on Cedar Ridge Road at 4:37 p.m. When they arrived, they found a man in the middle of the road who had been shot and killed. Deputies requested the assistance of the Criminal Investigation Division and the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations. A person of interest was detained at the crime scene, detectives said. No further information on the suspect was released. Surrey County Emergency Medical Services, the Franklin Fire Department, the Mount Airy Police Department, and the North Carolina State Bureau to the investigation, which is ongoing. And Surrey County Health and Nutrition Center will be following suit with the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services in shifting priority to vaccination efforts while limiting COVID-19 contact tracing and case investigation to only the highest priority groups. Effective immediately, Surrey County Health and Nutrition Center will be investigating and interviewing COVID-19 patients only if it is in response to a reported cluster outbreak within a K-12 school setting, a case known to be living in a congregate or healthcare setting, or is known to be working or potentially exposed in a high-density setting as directed by NCDHHS. Surrey County residents who become infected with COVID-19 may not receive a call from the Surrey County Health and Nutrition Center. This means that citizens should follow NCDHHS and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidance strategies, including stay at home when you're sick, except to get medical care. Use a separate room and bathroom for sick household members. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Clean and disinfect as needed. Remain home for 10 days after your first symptom appears, or if asymptomatic, remain home for 10 days after your positive test result. Notify any person whom you came in close contact with to follow quarantine guidelines. As we transition, Surrey County Health and Nutrition Center staff will be available to assist with any questions or concerns regarding COVID-19. Please call them at 336-401-8400. Choose option 8. That's a look at news. For WPAQ and WSYD, I'm Kelly Emerson.
And we have an update on that shooting in the Surrey County Sheriff's Office. As arrested Zaquan Washine Dobson, a 26-year-old male at 134 Carolina Road here in Mount Airy, for the murder of Trevon Parsons, a 23-year-old male who was found dead. That shooting, of course, occurred near the address of 252 Cedar Ridge Road, Mount Airy. Additional outstanding warrants served on Dobson during the address as well. Dobson is currently being held with no bond for the murder charge and an additional bond of $75,000 on other unrelated outstanding criminal charges. This is still an active investigation, and it appears to have resulted from a disagreement between the two individuals. Coming up on 10 minutes after 12 o'clock, and again, winter storm warning in effect for the area. Clouds start to move in later on, rain and snow developing before midnight, then turning to snow in the wee hours of tomorrow morning. Overnight low 29, and less than 1 inch of snow possible, but that will increase. Snow and sleet possibly mixed with freezing rain before 11 a.m. and then a dose of freezing rain into the afternoon and turning to rain as temperatures start to make their way to 35 degrees. Additional accumulations resulting in snow and sleet accumulation of 1 to 3 inches possible, possibly even some freezing rain. Sunday night, chance of rain in the early nighttime hours, and then another chance of rain and sleet mixed in the wee hours of Monday. Orlando 31, and a chance of snow early on Monday, and then a chance of mixture as temperatures make their way up to 43 on Monday. We get back to sunny skies on Tuesday and Wednesday in the extended forecast. Again, that winter storm warning is in effect for this listing area early tomorrow morning through lots of parts of Sunday. 35 degrees right now, still holding on to 35 degrees, our current temperature. And we won't warm up a whole lot. I expected a 41 today, but it's taking a while to get there. Right now we're going to take you back to the Aero Theater, the second half of today's merry-go-round. We're all set to go. Once again, here's your host, Jenny Lowry.
Thank you so much, Bob King, and thanks everyone for sticking around. Welcome also to our folks watching on our YouTube live stream at WPAQ radio station, as well as the folks here joining us in the theater. You're in for a real treat. This is an outstanding group from down around Siler City, North Carolina. Speaking of the Andy Griffith Show, Siler City. And right now, please help me make welcome to the stage for part 2 of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round, Just a Little Grace.
Working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. It's Holy Ghost building, it's a Holy Ghost building. It's Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. It's Holy Ghost building, it's Holy Ghost building. It's Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord.
such a pleasure and an honor to be back here in Mount Airy, North Carolina, at the old historic Earl Theater and Old Time Music Heritage Hall. And we are just a little grace, and I'll take just a moment to tell you who folks are. I'm not going to talk very long at all. You're not going to believe that, LG, are you? No, not at all. I'll start with a fellow. If you're looking at an old-fashioned radio, you'll be on the right-hand side of your dial with a 5-string banjo, and plays a little bit of everything we hand him. And one of the most talented musicians I've ever had the honor to share stage with, my friend on the 5-string banjo, Mr. Linwood Camp. There we go. And now we'll jump to the opposite side of the radio dial, and the guy with the funny-looking little guitar, they call that a mandolin. It's got 8 strings, and it all goes out of tune at the same time. It was in tune when he bought it, and he keeps trying to put it back there again, but does a fantastic job with lead and tenor vocals and doing a lot of songwriting for the group. Our friend Mr. Eddie Ingram on the mandolin. And the one that you can't hide behind right here, because she's got that bright yellow on and you can see her no matter where you go, you're going to find her today. Yellow is her color. And the light, you can't see, do what?
The lights on the radio.
You're the lights on the radio. You're making the radio dial glow. There you go. I got it today. And see, here's the thing, is that this woman right here, I get to spend my life with. We've been married for 15 years, and I'm going to tell you, the Bible says a man should love his wife the way that Christ loved the church, meaning that a man should be willing to die for his wife, and I would do that, fellas. I want you to understand that, ladies, that's the way your husband ought to be. But y'all need to understand something, too. This woman that stands beside me with that cute little dimple smile is crazy. She is crazy, Jenny, I'm telling you. And so, but you know, I wouldn't choose to do life with anybody else. Y'all make welcome my darling bride, Miss Stacy Stewart. Thank you very much. My name is Doug Stewart, and that's enough of that. I hold down the guitar and get to do all the talking. So we'll do this old Bill Monroe number for you. A little bit different than Bill would have probably done it with the Bluegrass Boys, but we love this old song. Get Stacy to come around and sing a little bit of the old Crossroads.
Destruction. The other to the pearly gate. Which one are you gonna take? One leads down to destruction, the other to the pearly gate. over, you'll have to face the old crossroad. Will you be ready then, my brother, to shine the one down below? The old crossroads now is waiting. Which one are you gonna take? One leads down to destruction, the other to the pearly gate. One leads down to destruction, the other to the pearly gate.
Grace, and we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back with more music coming up from these fine folks from down in Siler City, and we'll be back with more on the merry-go-round right after this. Thank you so much, Bob. And if you're just tuning in or just joining us, had a great first program with Pappy O. Jessup. That's his new name, Eric Jessup, the pride of North Surrey High School. He's a great teacher there as well. And now for part two, our special guests.
Jenny, I got to tell you though, I was listening to Pappy a while ago, and he was talking about the work schedule.
Yes.
I got an amendment to the work schedule.
Okay.
All right. See, Monday and Friday, we don't get nothing done on Monday and Friday because Friday we're anticipating the weekend, and Monday we're too worn out from the weekend, so we're gonna cancel Monday and Friday. Now, after a while, Tuesday and Thursday is going to get just like Monday and Friday, and in anticipation of that being a good steward, we're going to go ahead and cancel Tuesday and Thursday, which leaves us Wednesday, the only real work day in the week. Now, in honor of church on Wednesday nights, most places used to close at lunchtime, and we're going to honor that tradition, only we're only going to do it every other week. We're going to work a full day on Wednesday and take the next half Wednesday off. Therefore, it leaves us with a 13-day weekend and 1 day work.
Wow.
Y'all like that? Thank you very much. I'll be considering the issues for the next election coming up. Oh, man, we're going to do a song. You all live in our house. It gets interesting sometimes, I'm telling you.
I can imagine.
I can imagine. Anyway, we want to do a song. I talked a little bit about Eddie being a songwriter. This is a song that he wrote, and I like this. It's got an old-time feel to it. I call it an old camping style singing. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy it. Put your hands together and join us and clap along if you want. It's called I'm Going Home Someday. I'm going home someday when the Lord's so fair. I'm gonna meet him up yonder in the air. I am so happy now that I know I have been saved from grace. My name is on the road. Once I was walking down the road of sin. I had no reason to was lonely. Fell on my knees and I prayed to him that might forgive me my sin. I'm going home someday with the Lord so fair. I'm gonna meet him up yonder in the air. I
grace, my name is on the roll. I'm going home someday with the Lord so fair. I'm gonna meet him up yonder in the air. I am so happy now that I know I have been saved by grace, my name is on the road. I'm going home someday with the Lord so fair. I'm gonna meet him up yonder in the air. I am so happy now that I know I have been saved by grace, my name is on the roll. I have been saved by grace, my name is on the roll.
Hey, well, you know, that reminds me, Jenny, of my mama's side of the family right there. She was one of 14 children.
Wow.
Yeah, she was. She was one of 14 children. Grandma had 49 grandchildren, 32 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
And after that, we quit counting.
I'd say, how would you keep up with all those names?
Well, most of us had nicknames. We had to keep up not only with our birth names, but our nicknames, but we won't even get into all of that. I'll tell you some of them later on. You'll get a snicker out of it. But anyway, want to think about the way we used to grow up. Times have changed.
They have.
And it wasn't, you know, that's one of the reasons I love coming up here, because this remembers the tradition of how things used to be. And so, in honor of that, with my mom's family, we'd get together for a family gathering. We'd all gather around the old piano and play and sing, because my grandmother was the piano player down at the Fundamental Independent Bible Thumping Baptist Church.
Wow.
Okay, for years. And every one of her 14 children were musical.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
that has passed down through the generations. And so we'd all gather around the piano, and we'd all sing when we would get together. And I love that family heritage. And every one of us up here grew up in a family heritage similar to that. So let's do a little a cappella singing. Edward, are you ready over there? Let's do this.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to a tree? Were you there when they nailed him to a tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to a tree? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when he rose up from the grave? Were you there when he rose up from the grave? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when he rose up from the grave?
Wonderful music here on today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. Just a little Grace there from down around Siler City, North Carolina. And we do need to check about in on the forecast. Bob King's going to give us an updated look at the bottom of the hour now for the weather forecast. And we'll be back with more music coming up on today's Saturday morning merry-go-round on WPAQ right after this.
And we're struggling to get there now. Rain and snow before 4 a.m. tomorrow. Then snow develops. I agree with that. Sister Mary, yeah. Freezing at 5 a.m. And briefly, the snow could be heavy at times overnight along around 29 very low for tomorrow. And a mixture of snow and sleet.
He's doing good. We're coming back.
We'll be in the background and keep them out. I don't say that.
Extends into Sunday night, chance of rain before 10 p.m. The road still may be on the slick side, so there's a chance of sleet again into early Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday in the forecast. Again, 37 Northeastern. Tuesday will be warmed up just a little bit.
Thank you so much, Bob, and I appreciate you once again this morning. Always a pleasure to work with you at WPAQ. If you're just tuning in, just joining us, we are listening to the Saturday morning merry-go-round. We had a great program on the first hour with special guest Eric Jessup, now known as Papio Jessup. And joining us now, just a little Grace. And I do want to tell you this, that we had a request come in, and I want to recognize Bobby. He always listens to the program. He's a faithful listener to WPAQ, and he requested a great song from Wade Maynor, Sit Down. And I think that the group is not, they don't know it this time, but maybe in a future program we'll learn that one. We'll learn that. I just charged that to you. So
that is an absolutely wonderful song, and I remember Wade's version, and I also remember Kenny and Amanda Smith did a fantastic version on their Tell Someone project.
That's a great song.
It is a wonderful song. It's just not one that we're prepared to jump off the cliff on right now.
But maybe you can send this a song out to Bobby.
Yeah, we could certainly send this out to Bobby, because if we tried to jump it out, right now, we'd look like something off of the Coyote and Roadrunner is what we look like. It wouldn't end well. Anyway, hey, we're gonna get Lynn to come around and do one right now that his dad always sang, and I love this song. It has a real title. I don't know what it is. We just call it Sister Mary. So y'all call it Sister Mary with us.
Sister Mary, she wears a golden chain. Sister Mary, she wears a golden chain. Sister Mary wears a golden chain on everything. Got Jesus' name. There's no hiding place down here. There's no hiding place down here. There's no hiding place down here. Well, run to the rocks and hide my face. Rock right out, no hiding place. There's no hiding place down here. Wears hypocrite shoes. Well, the devil, he wears hypocrite shoes. Well, the devil wears a hypocrite shoes. If you don't watch out, he'll put it on you. There's no hiding place down here. There's no hiding place down here. There's no hiding place down here. Well, I run to the rocks and hide my face. Rock right out, no hiding place. There's no hiding place down here. I'll pitch my tent on the old campground. I'll pitch my tent on the old campground. I'll pitch my tent on the old campground and get a little saved one more round. There's no hiding place down here.
There's no hiding place down here. There's no hiding place down here.
Well, run to the rocks and hide my face. The rock cried out, no hiding places.
No hiding place down here. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming forth to carry me home, a band of angels, oh, they're coming after me, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Sometimes I am up and sometimes I am down, coming forth to carry me home. Still my soul is heaven bound, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming forth to carry me home, tell all my friends I'm coming too, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home, coming forth to carry me home.
Yeah. Let's go with Brian Holy in the key of Ah. And Jenny, did you hear this?
Well, I did. I put my mask on real quick. No, I'm just joking.
I don't blame you. I put your mask on too
I'm
and
just
run
joking.
away and hide. And we haven't played and sang since before Christmas.
Well, I think everybody is about like that. And you know what? I want to say something about that. But before we do that, I want to. That last song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot,
Yes, ma'am.
my grandma used to sing that all the time. Even after she got Alzheimer's, she couldn't really carry on a conversation that much.
But she remembered that
She
song.
would remember that song, and she sang it all the time. Even as bad as she got, she loved that song.
Well, that's wonderful. And let me tell you, you know when we first started doing that song?
When's that?
Probably a year and a half ago or so. When we came here, was it in January? I thought it was time before that. Anyway, we were here, and we were warming up out in the new lobby out there, and she just started singing it out of nowhere, and the next thing you know, we walked in here and just did it on the radio. We're probably going to do another one like that this morning. We like to jump off the cliff every once in a while if we know sort of. But that one, every time we do it, I think about being right here at the merry-go-round. So that's where it originated for us singing. So
Great job on that. And you started to say, I interrupted you, but it has been a challenging year for people performing, and folks are kind of struggling to I feel like I used to play music and now I don't even know what I'm doing.
I know that feeling quite well, and it's been a challenging year for a lot of folks. And we're blessed because this is something we do for the love of the music, obviously. But we've been blessed to still be able to go around and do some things. And early on in the year, a lot of outdoor stuff. But as winter set on, we kind of slowed down a little bit. But I really feel my heart goes out for those folks that tour and make a living at it. And it's been a rough year for a lot of those folks. And a lot of folks have gotten creative in how to help those people, and we appreciate that. In fact, I appreciate the fact that you hadn't forgotten your musician friends and those folks that actually put everything out there for them. And you know, because in our world, it didn't really matter. And even in you know, WPAQ, the music's still there.
Right.
You just go in and keep going as going, but somebody's got to produce that music. But anyway, so hats off to everybody that hasn't given up, and hopefully we're on the downside of this thing. I'm hoping that we are, because, but you know what the upside of that is?
What's that?
If I was still working, you know, I did law enforcement for 30 years. If I was still working, I've gotten pretty good at identifying people with a mask on now. I could probably catch the bad guy a little bit easier had I still been working. So, you know it's been a while when you go in a grocery store and you don't have to double look and you see the people you know, you automatically know who they are even with their mask on. So.
That's things have certainly changed.
It has changed a lot. We're going to get Andy to come around and do this song for you, and this is what we call just bluegrass, standard bluegrass gospel. I don't think it can get any more standard than this. Edward, if you would, let's do a little bit of crying holy unto the Lord.
Crying holy unto the Lord, into the Lord, into the Lord. Crying holy unto the Lord, into the Lord, holy unto the Lord. For if I could, I surely would stand on that rock. Moses stood. Lord, I ain't stranger now. Lord, I ain't stranger now. I've been in the blues to the water and the sun, and I ain't stranger now. Crying holy to the Lord, into the Lord, into the Lord. Crying holy into the Lord, into the Lord, into the Lord. For if I could, I surely would stand on that rock. Moses stood. Sinner, run, hide your face. Sinner, run, hide your face. Oh, run to the rocks and hide your face. Rocks ain't down, hide your face. Crying holy into the Lord, into the Lord, into the Lord. Crying holy into the Lord, into the Lord, holy into the Lord. For if I could, I surely would stand on that rock. Moses stood. Crying holy into the Lord, into the Lord, into the Lord. Crying holy into the Lord, into the Lord, holy into the Lord. For if I could, I surely would stand on that rock. Moses stood. Now if I could, I surely would stand on that rock. Moses stood.
Really enjoying today's program with just a little grace. We do need to catch up on some advertisements, and we're going to send things back to Bob King at WPAQ Studios. We'll be back with more music coming up on today's Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
I'm Kelly Epperson, owner of WPAQ Radio.
I'm Tim Fry, your Mountain Morning and Mountain Midday host.
Usually we're jovial, having fun, producing commercials and promos, but we're a little subdued right now.
That's right, Kelly. We have our fun, but today we have something we need to say that's all but fun.
Folks, we're not going to be able to hold our annual WPAQ birthday celebration this year due to the guidelines set forth by our governor and the CDC to help prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Hey, Kelly, how about an idea?
You do? Like a light bulb went off in your head?
Yeah. Hey, you recorded on birthday celebration previous years, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did.
Well, here's my idea. Why don't we at least play some of the great recordings in place of not being able to have our usual birthday celebration?
Wow, Tim, you're smarter than I give you credit for.
Gee, thanks, Kelly.
Okay, so folks, get ready for kind of a virtual WPAQ birthday celebration with some of the past birthdays on Saturday evening, February 6th, from 6 p.m. until.
And we've had a lot of great bluegrass and old-time bands playing at these birthday parties, too.
We appreciate it, too. So, folks, make your plans to join us on our new WPAQ FM 106.7 or online at WPAQ740.com for a virtual 73rd birthday celebration. That's 6 p.m. until Saturday evening, February 6th.
It'll be like folks used to do a long time ago, just gathering around and listening to the radio and Grand Ole Opry. Hey, how about a raise for my idea, Kelly?
Sorry, Tim, we're all out of time.
This year's WPAQ birthday celebration is being brought to you by Towns Country Store, Highway 52 in Cato, Virginia, and Hill Music, 236 North Main Street in historic downtown Mount Airy.
And we'll take you back to the merry-go-round. Some cancellations already. Mount Airy Pentecostal Baptist Church in Airy, Virginia. Morning services are canceled tomorrow. Also, Holy Angel Catholic Church, their Sunday morning faithful. Their Sunday morning faithful formation is canceled also. Now we take you back to the merry-go-round. Once again, here's Jenny.
Thank you so much, Bob. And I want everybody to stay tuned. We'll give you updated weather forecasts as well as news each day we do on WPAQ. Right now, we're going back to the stage of the Earl Theater where I'm standing here. We're not going back there. We're already here.
We're already here.
We're already here.
Yeah.
We're joined by our special guest, Just a Little Grace. I do want to tell you this, had another nice comment. David, he's listening in from down in Troutman, North Carolina, and wanted to tell y'all you're doing a mighty fine job.
Thank
and I
you
think
very
so
much,
too.
David. We
Yeah,
appreciate that.
definitely. So we got time for probably 3 more songs up until the top of the 1 o'clock hour, and we'll take another quick break.
Okay, we're going to go out on the edge of the cliff this go around, so for all of you that are listening, and David and Troutman, if we fall off, y'all put thumbs up on the Facebook and all that and tell us we did a good job anyway. How about that? Yes. Yeah, we're going to have fun, and that's what a lot of it is. Oh, by the way, speaking of having fun, Stacy and I came up here yesterday. We left and came up and spent the night last night in Mount Airy. Just a little easier traveling and such, and I just want to tell you, it was cold this morning in Mount Airy, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a snowman out on the side of the road with a sign that said, "We'll work for winter coat." It was cold in Mount Airy this morning. Bless my, I don't know where that came from. Yeah, let's sing. Eddie, take it away, son.
Still, they cheated by for wealth and wine, here goodbye. Well, don't they know on Judgment Day, the gold and silver is gonna melt away? I'd rather be in a deep dark grave and know that my poor soul was saved than to live in this world in a house of gold and deny my God and do my soul. silver too. If your heart's not pure and true, the sinner hear me when I say, you better fall down on your knees and pray. I'd rather be in a deep dark grave and to know that my poor soul is saved than to live in this world in a house of gold and deny my God and do my soul.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I think we played through that one time. So we enjoy doing those kind of fun things.
That was great. We've got time, Doug, for one tune before we take a break.
One tune before we take a break.
Take a break.
All right, so which tune would that be there? Okay. D. We'll do one of my favorite songs that we do here as a group, and this one always makes me think about my mom, and I've talked about her before on this show. I know when we come up, and it's been 6 years since Mom went home to be with the Lord after battling leukemia, and sounds sad, but the reality of it was that the doctors told her she had 5 years to live, and she lived 25. That's right. That's a blessing from God is what it is, and it's all in how you put it into perspective. And Mom used to say all the time, it is what it is, and she never got down, she never got depressed, and she met it head on. And the beauty of that is that now that she's gone, and I think about it, I know that she's where she's not in pain anymore, she's not hurting anymore, and lots of you may have loved ones that are there, and that's why I just absolutely love this song, because I know one day too I will be there where the roses never fade.
I am going to a city where the streets are golden late. There the tree of life is blooming and the roses never fade. Here they bloom but for a season, soon their beauty is decayed. I am going to a city where the roses never fade. Jesus in their robes of white array. They are waiting for my coming, where the roses never fade. Here they bloom, but for a season. Soon their beauty is decayed. I am going to a city where the roses never fade.
Lovely, lovely. That's all I can say. Great job from Just a Little Grace on the Saturday morning merry-go-round. And we'll take a real quick break for station identification, and we'll be back with another 29 minutes coming up on today's program right after this. You're listening to the voice of the Blue Ridge, AM 740 and FM 106.7, WPAQ.
Hey, this is WPAQ time now. Just a couple of minutes after 1 o'clock. Temperatures right now on the sluggish side, around 38 degrees. I expected of about 41 today. Again, that winter storm warning in effect for tonight, early tomorrow through parts of tomorrow, and also tomorrow night. We'll see 1, 2, 3 inches, maybe 1 to 4 inches now. Snow and sleet accumulation. Tomorrow afternoon, a little bit of mixture about everything. Before we start to break out of this on Sunday night or early Monday in the forecast.
Have a good day.
Again, temperatures around 38 degrees, and as tomorrow's situation has prompted some closings, church closings. We'll have more, I'm sure. Mount Area Pentecostal Holiness Church in Aaron, Virginia. Sunday morning services are canceled. Also, Holy Angels Catholic Church here in Mount Area. Sunday morning faith formation canceled, and some others as well. Forward Baptist Church in Yankton morning services are canceled also, and First Baptist Church in Yankton services are canceled for tomorrow. And we'll take you back to the Euro Theater. More music now. The merry-go-round. Once again, here's Jenny.
Thank you so much, Bob King, and want us to give a shout out to Keith Nance. He's listening in and wanted me to tell you folks what a great job you were doing.
Thank you so much, Keith Nance.
Yes, he's listening in, said he was singing along with the radio, and some of the songs was making him cry. And that, he meant it in a good way, trust me, I know.
Well, I understand. We did some of these at home and it made the cats cry.
Oh, goodness gracious. We're being entertained, and it's been a great program today. I do want to tell you this, that of course, Stacy comes from a long line of musicians, and her dad and her brother, Eddie Hill and the Gospel Travelers, they'll be with us February 27th, coming up next month, and I think some of you folks are going to join them as well.
Yeah, we'll be back up here. Stacy and I know we're going to come back and help them out. It's hard to tell Daddy-in-law no, and so and if you've never experienced Eddie Hill, we call it, okay, yeah, they call it Eddie Hill and the Gospel Travelers. We call it the Eddie Hill experience. You do that one time, and it's definitely an experience, I'll guarantee you that.
Well, I was just thinking as I was hearing Stacy sing that what a distinct voice she has, and her brother and her dad have such distinct voices too, and their voices are real similar, and hers is so different. And I was sitting here thinking about that as y'all were singing, such talented people. Speaking of which, let's play some more music. Give us 2 more songs, and then we'll take another break.
1, 2, 3, and go.
Oh, do you remember me? I said, do Lord, glory land that outshines the sun. I've got a home up in glory land that outshines the sun. I've got a home up in glory land that outshines the sun, looking way beyond the blue. Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? I said do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? Looking way beyond the blue. Jesus as my Savior and you take him too. I took Jesus as my Savior and you take him too. I took Jesus as my Savior and you take him too. Looking way beyond the blue. I said, do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? I said, do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? Looking way beyond the blue. I said, do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? Do Lord, oh do Lord, oh do you remember me? Looking way beyond the blue. Look away beyond the blue.
Yeah. All righty. I think you said we got time for one more, is that right?
Let's do one more song and then we'll take a break. And we got time for more music, but we got to take a break.
Right, we're going to take a break. We'll let Glenn grab a guitar, I'll put this down, and it's down yonder, what you need. All righty. And we'll do that at the break if it'll last this long, we'll see. We're gonna do a little song now. I don't know why I didn't do that.
I can't do nothing with that.
No, you can't do anything at all with that. And we'll do this little song real quick. This is a song that Stacy wrote, and we love this. I love this song because it talks about when you get worn out and tired. And we've all been there in 2020, that's for sure. We've all gotten worn out and tired. And it talks about when we're weary. Jesus said, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. And then he went on to talk about, he said, his burden is light, his yoke is easy. And that's what this song simply talks about. It talks about, come, all you weary.
God said, come, all you weary, come, ye heavy laden, come, I will give you rest. He said, come, give it all to me, come, you're not defeated, come, claim your victory. It don't matter How big or small, God will carry your every burden. He has promised to be there till the end. He said, come, all ye weary, come, ye heavy laden, come. I will give you rest. He said, come, give it all to me. Come, you're not defeated. Come, claim your victory. Right where you are, just to thank Him for everything He has done, all the blessings and battles already won. He said, come, all ye weary, come, ye heavy laden, come, I will give you rest. He said, come, give it all to me, come, you're not defeated. Come, claim your victory. Walk the streets of gold, enjoy the beauty that all of heaven beholds. No more burdens, sickness, pain, or strife. He said, come, all ye weary, come, ye heavy laden, come, I will give you rest. He said, come, give it all to me, come, you're not defeated. Come, claim your victory. Come, claim your victory.
Song there from Stacy Stewart and her group, Just a Little Grace. It's been a pleasure. We're going to take a real quick break right now, and I'm going to tell you about the folks located right across the street here from the Earl Theater. That's Mayberry Music Center, located across the street from the Earl and locally owned and operated by James Easter of the Easter Brothers. James would like to invite you to stop in and check out their selection of acoustic and electric guitars. Also, they have bass guitars, mandolins, fiddles, banjos, trumpets, saxophones, clarinets, flutes, and much, much more. Also, Mayberry Music Center specializes in Blue Ridge guitars, and they are the authorized Blue Ridge guitar dealer here in the Mount Airy area. Mayberry Music Center always gives a $100 discount off the suggested retail price of their Blue Ridge guitars, and you'll usually find there some slightly used Blue Ridge guitars at a discounted price. They have strings as well as all types of accessories for your instrument, and they also offer music lessons as well as instrument repair. And James would like to remind you that if you don't see what you're looking for, just ask them, because chances are they can have it for you in just a couple of days. And you'll also find there a great selection of bluegrass and bluegrass gospel CDs, including titles from the Easter Brothers as well as the Primitive Quartet. Mayberry Music Center is open Monday through Friday from 10:30 until 4 o'clock, and on Saturdays they're open from 9:30 to 3. They're always closed on Sunday. That is Mayberry Music Center, historic downtown Mount Airy, bringing you this portion of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. And I'd also like to mention this, that We were joined by James Easter and his lovely wife Denise and some friends last Saturday, and it was an absolute wonderful program. And if you missed it, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. Just go back to last Saturday's date, and they did a great job, as well as Flint Ridge, and it was just a pleasure to have those folks on. And speaking of great programs, we are having an excellent program today. Had a great show with Eric Jessup making his debut for part 1 of the merry-go-round. And then today on the 12 o'clock hour, joined by our special friends, Just a Little Grace from down in Siler City, North Carolina. And I also want to make mention of who will be with us again next week. We are going to have Merle Williams joining us all the way from upstate New York. Well, he'll be coming here, but he's from upstate New York. Followed by Wood Family Tradition from over in Statesville, North Carolina. They'll be with us next Saturday. That's February the 6th. And also, that would be our normally scheduled birthday celebration that we would have, but we're unable to do that here at the Earl. So what we're going to do is on a Saturday night, next Saturday night, beginning at 6 p.m., you can tune us in at 106.7 locally or listen online at WPAQ740.com for encore presentations of a whole lot of great music from previous birthday celebrations of WPAQ. That's coming up next Saturday. Well, are you folks about ready to go? We got time. We'll do 2 more songs and then take another quick break.
Fantastic. And I'll say this, Wood Family Tradition, that'll be some good stuff. And I'm not dating myself, but I can remember going to Burlington, North Carolina, actually outside of Graham, to a place called the Big O Jamboree in January, February every year. And you go see A.L. Wood and the Smoky Ridge Boys, along with Bill Monroe, and Mike was just a young guy. I'm talking about not much more than a teenager back in those days.
Weren't they great? And some of their original music,
oh man, Sweet Carrie, and I mean it was amazing, and nobody could drive a 5-string like A.L. Wood, and it's good to see them carrying on that tradition and the Wood Family tradition. So that'll be a great set next week.
It's coming up next week.
Absolutely, I'll have to make sure I tune in for that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and by the way, I certainly love the new FM thing for you, but the internet thing. Living down there where I am, I can't pick up any of the radio signals, and I am thankful for the internet. There's so many times that I'm working in the shop and doing whatever, and I turn around to that little box that she bought, connects to that yonder internet, and I'll say that Alexa word, I say, play me WPAQ, and doggone, she don't play y'all right on up. I'll tune in and listen to you read the obituaries.
Well, they're coming up right after your program.
Right after this program. We're going to get Eddie to come around and sing a little thing called I Am the Man.
Thomas, I am the man. Look at these nail scars here in my hand. They drove me up the hill, Thomas, I am the man. They made me carry the cross, Thomas, I am the man. I am the man, Thomas, I am the man. Look at these nail scars here in my hand. Thomas, I am the man. I nailed him to that cross, Thomas, I am the man. I am the man, Thomas, I am the man. Look at these nail scars here in my hand. They nailed to that cross, Thomas I am the man. They pierced me in the side, Thomas I am the man. I am the man, Thomas I am the man. Look at these nail scars here in my hand. Side, Thomas, I am the man. I died on the cross, Thomas, I am the man. I am the man, Thomas, I am the man. Look at these nail scars here in my hand.
Hey. Woo. All right, while we got Eddie up here singing, we'll get Eddie to come around and do a song that he wrote, and we've been doing this song for as long as we've known Eddie. That's been a year or 12. And so, anyway, we like this song while we're on that subject. It's called He Walked That Road to Calvary.
He walked that road to Calvary. He bore that cross for you and me. Oh, my brother is calling. Oh, won't you answer his plea? I've walked down that old dusty road. I've lived a life of sin and shame. Then Jesus called me. Now and on the Savior's name. He walked that road to Calvary. He bore that cross for you and me. Oh, my brother is calling. Won't you answer his name? He walked that road to Calvary. He bore that cross for you and me. Oh, my brother is calling. Won't you answer his name? He walked that road to Calvary. He bore that cross for you and me. Oh, my brother is calling. Won't you answer his name? Won't you answer his name?
One more quick break, guys, and then we'll come back with the conclusion of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. This portion featuring Just a Little Grace. We'll be back right after this.
Hey there, everybody. This is Cindy Bauckham, and I'm really excited to let you know that my programs will be heard right here on WPAQ. Needy the Bluegrass and Needy the Bluegrass Gospel. Sundays from 7 to 8 p.m. Enjoy Needy the Bluegrass Gospel for the best of bluegrass gospel music. And then every Monday night at 11 p.m. It's Needy the Bluegrass. Join me right here on WPAQ, 740 AM and 106.7 FM.
Let me take you back to the merry-go-round. The conclusion, once again, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Bob King, and I just wanted to say once again, it's been a pleasure to have these folks on the stage here. They're always doing a great job, wonderful music, and just excellent program today. Look forward to having you folks back with us again real soon. Got time for one more song, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to try. We're going to go out on that limb.
Okay.
I got outvoted. I told you that wife of mine was crazy. I've had a frog that jumped in my throat somewhere about halfway through this thing, and I think I got it run out, but we're going to find out on this one. So if I sound like a bellowing cat, y'all just turn the volume down a little bit. It'll be all right. We're going to try it. This is one of the first songs I ever had the honor to sing with my wife, and it has been one of our most requested songs down through the years. So we hope that you enjoy Beulah Land.
I'm kind of homesick for a country to which I've never been before. No sad goodbyes will there be spoken, but time won't matter anymore. Beulah Land, I am longing for you, and someday I'll stay there. My home shall be eternal. Beulah Land, sweet Beulah Land. I'm looking now across that river where my faith shall end in sight. But there's a few more days to labor, and I'll take my heavenly flight. Beulah Land, I am longing for you, and someday I'll stay there. My home shall be eternal. Beulah Land, sweet Beulah Land. Beulah Land, I am longing for you, and someday I'll stay there. My home shall be eternal. Beulah Land, sweet Beulah Land.
Wow, that was a great way to end up today's merry-go-round program. Thank you once again, Just a Little Grace and Pappy O. Jessup. I'm Jenny Lowry, and I'll be with you again, hopefully for the afternoon show on Thursday, and back again next week for another edition of the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round on WPAQ. That was great. I'm glad you did it. I don't know what else we could have done that would have been even.